Hello, and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
Michael's back, yay! He's not,
Yay.
Not dead!
We told you
Still
he wasn't
just a bit
kidnapped. He's fine.
I was, just not by you lot.
It's been a rough
It's
2
a whole
weeks.
separate incident. It's a whole separate thing that happened.
Anyway, for this week's
But
episode...
you're fine.
Oh, mostly.
Yeah.
You should see them. No, they didn't want me. They put me. I was quote unquote too annoying to deal with. Too much of a quote unquote handful. They just put me back.
They
I
really
complain.
overestimated how profitable this podcast is when they tried to restore us, and I thought it was easier to cut their losses and send you back.
I think they underestimated how annoying I can be.
Yeah.
Anyway, we watched X-Men First Class.
X-Men First Class!
Yeah.
Fucking love this film.
No, 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 no.
Helena, I think you've spoken about this film more than any other film on this podcast, and yes, I'm including the
Not
Black
really.
Cauldron in that.
No, absolutely not. Like, before we watched The Black Cauldron, that's fucking all Helena would talk about.
Yeah, but
was
post
the
Black
Black
Cauldron.
Yeah,
I
still
mean, my
think
life is divided between that event. Finally
Yeah.
getting to talk about the Black Cauldron.
And post being able to talk about it.
I adored this film when it came out. This was the height of my, I think I have a crush on everyone phase.
Uh-huh.
Of sort of, 2011. So yeah, I was in year 11.
Mhm.
That's what, is that 15? 16?
Yeah.
You had no idea.
You went
Can't
to
remember.
school.
I can't remember how
It's
old
not
I
my
was. I
fault
can't
you
remember how
didn't
old
do
I am.
maths.
I can't remember how old I am. I don't know what the ages the years are. They're a child until they leave, and then they're still a bit of a child.
The
So you
plot's-
watched it a lot. You
Yeah.
loved this film.
I loved it. I think I was I think I had a crush on pretty much every single person apart from maybe the devil guy and Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't know, this cast really, it ticks every box.
Every box separately.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's
someone
variety.
for everyone in this film.
Yeah, I remember watching this when it came out and being like, "Oh damn, that Jennifer Lawrence, she's all right." And then the next year it's like, "Oh, here's the Hunger Games and she's everywhere." I was like, "I saw her before she
Yeah.
was in the Hunger Games."
I saw her before she was famous in that other Hollywood
Fucking
movie
huge
she
movie.
starred in.
Yeah, but I also
this
really
film
liked this.
starts off. Yeah, this film starts off really horny as well.
Isn't
I
it
mean,
another?
It starts off with the
Holocaust
Holocaust,
opening.
but you know.
Okay, no, not that bit, but
It's another surprise Holocaust opening.
It's the same one as X-Men. It's the same
Yeah.
scene.
It is, but
Yeah.
it's then
Extended.
expanded upon, which, when it cut back straight away, and I was like, oh, I'm sure there was more to it than this, and then, yeah, that's just
This
about
is
a
the
minute
matter.
later, yeah.
So we see baby Eric, no, young Eric, crush men's helmets into their skulls
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
this nasty
You say not like Nazi.
this nasty Nazi. Not that.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of implies there were other kinds.
Yeah.
But this one particularly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looking
he
for
shoots his mum
mutants.
to elicit emotion because that's what drives Eric's developing powers,
Yeah.
and it's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wants
And
him to move
he
a
has that
Nazi coin. Yeah.
It's like move the coin,
Yeah.
and you can have some. It was like you can have some chocolate, or move the coin, and then it's like move the coin, or I'm going to shoot your mother.
Yeah.
It really
Um,
escalates quite quickly.
Yes. So he crushes all of the metal in the room, including their helmets, which I thought was going to be a foreshadowing for later, but it's not.
No, he just
It's
crushes
setting
the
up
helmet.
some
Yeah.
pretty solid foreshadowing for a helmet themed death.
No, instead you get
much later.
a better foreshadowed death with the coin. But we'll get to
Yeah, but there's a lot of helmet crushing when there's quite a famous helmet in the X-Men.
that. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Well,
Juggernaut.
I guess that helmet's not made of. That helmet isn't made of metal, though, is it? It must be like.
yes, because he moves it later.
Does he? I thought it
Yes.
was. I thought it was polycarbon.
Yeah, he
No,
grabs it. He grabs it with a metal wire later.
Yeah, he
Does
wasn't
he?
just
I
metal
don't
wire.
think-
He
yeah.
doesn't.
I thought he floats it around. 'cause he
Otherwise,
has-
yeah, like sure there would be. That's the bad guy's name. I've remembered it now. Sure would be crushed like a bean.
This is helpful. He's like, I know you have these. I know you have helmet crushing powers, so
The helmet
Just being
protects me
careful.
from one X-Man and completely fucking obliterates me from another.
I forgot about the with fucking metal powers. Fuck, he's gonna get me.
It's a bit like if you covered Wolverine in some sort of anti-magnetic sealant, but then he couldn't actually move.
Yeah,
So it's like, great, you've solved
great. This is
one
one
problem.
situation. Yeah, this I think I love this. This film's really
Yeah.
good, and I think it's just because they get to use their powers a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
And
which
it's
is-
quite, with one massive exception, quite well done.
yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I
It's
think
Banshee.
we know which one. I don't know. I think Banshee's fine. I think there's a different, worse exception.
Oh, and okay, also maybe Emma Frost.
Oh no, I think there's a worse exception, and we can get to it at
Yeah.
some
Okay.
point. There's a worse exception for like misuse of a power.
Yeah,
Um,
the most misuse of a power ever in X-Men, I'd say.
Yeah, I think in any film ever.
Yeah.
But they get to use their powers regularly, and they use them like normal, and that's good because I get really sick of films, especially like superhero films, where they're like they have all these powers and they fucking never use them
Yeah.
outside of a fight scene.
Yeah, it's got that slick kind of feel to it that was like before we get into the plot of Jumper. But remember when he's like jumping ever so slightly just to like get around his flat really easily?
Yeah. Which is
And it's
how
just
you
like-
use these powers
yeah,
if you
it's-
have them.
Yeah, they're just an extension of you rather than like something that you have in a secret box that you only like whip out once in a while.
Yeah, apart from Havoc, who
Yeah.
has a good reason for that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
they actually like they feel like they use their powers, and like the bad guys use their powers a lot, and it's like great. This is good. It feels like a good superhero film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for some reason I'd forgotten it was directed by the guy who then went on to do Kingsman. So I was like, yeah, that explains
Yeah.
a lot. Like,
Yeah, there's an energy to this film. It's good.
and it's all absorbed by Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon.
It's all absorbed by the character that they don't call a Nazi, but like he was a doctor that worked for the Nazis.
Yeah.
They're like, "We
I don't
call
think
anyone
anyone's
that."
denying he's a Nazi.
No, if you read his the Wikipedia, like the Wikipedia page, but you know, like the thingy page on him, it's like he wasn't a Nazi. He worked for the Nazis.
Yeah, they always
He
have
was
to
a
be like,
Nazi.
this guy is worse than Nazis, which in one way is being like, yes, he's
No.
a really bad guy, but in another way it seems like they're going, the Nazis weren't as bad as this man. Like,
I don't
I mean,
think it was...
in on the Wikipedia plot, which I can. There is an argument to say not the best resource, but
Yeah.
definitely not the worst. In 1944, at the Auschwitz concentration camp, Nazi officer Klaus Schmidt witnesses a young Erich Lenzer bending a metal gate.
I meant like the character page on like the Wikipedia, the like fan Wikipedia pages.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Yeah.
X-Men Wiki.
In
Oh.
terms of like, because they do it in the comic books, they're like, he wasn't a Nazi, he worked for the Nazi. And I don't know if it's just like a thing, like, they're just like, we can't have an actual Nazi. I don't know if that's like a thing that they're just sort of hesitant to do. But it happens every now
Sebastian
and then.
Shaw.
I thought it was an interesting way of writing that in. But yeah, he's terrible. And then what's after what's like, do we get introduced to...
It then shows adult Xavier just flirting with a girl with heterochromia, and he keeps calling
Yes.
her mutation groovy because it's
Yeah,
the
I love how.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to let you know what's happening.
I do like how it's like, oh look, he's
Yeah,
just like
mutation. It's a very
a
groovy
charming
mutation.
guy.
Ah, but he's not charming because it looks like that's a well-rehearsed line that I don't think has a particularly high success rate.
No, especially when Mystique just always walks up and is like, yeah, so do I. Fuck you.
Like, he is also psychic, so he knows if it's going to work. I
Yeah.
assume it's successful because he's going to know it's going to work before he tries it.
Well, he implants
he's not
into their
drunk, I
mind that it
imagine.
will work, but that's
Isn't
a bit
that a
worse.
I
bit-
feel like he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Do that.
I don't
I feel like he
think
wouldn't do that.
he doesn't give off like rapey vibes.
No.
Yeah, that's not like a Professor X. Like, I imagine he says it and then reads the mind and goes, "Well, that didn't work."
Change tack.
Change that. But I don't think he'd implant.
No.
Thought. That's not a Professor X move.
No.
It's an Emma Frost move, but it's not a Professor X move.
Yeah, because then it's
Oh, do we have is the young Raven? Yeah, young Raven.
yeah, young Raven is like the very first
I was
scene.
gonna say we've skipped that bit. Young Raven
Yeah.
is so cute.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah.
adorable.
And another terrible wig.
Yes, of course.
This character only gets bad wigs. This every single version of Blue Mystique gets a bad wig. And
that's
I
So-
not
love
the
that
superpower.
Yeah, so angular
so
and
con-
so orange.
It's so consistently bad in every single. Doesn't matter how big the budget of the film is or how good the blue makeup is. It's a shit wig every time. Don't get it. Love it. Don't get it. But both young Mystique and old Mystique both have a shit wig.
Yeah.
But yeah, young Raven is very sweet,
Yeah.
and it's really nice to have that backstory where it's like she's taken under not James. He's James in my mind. Charles's wing.
Professor
Me and James,
Yeah,
are
'cause
like,
she's
we just go way back.
Yeah.
Back
Narnia.
about nearly 3 years to when we did Wanted. Yeah.
Or no, Narnia. We did Narnia Sense,
Yeah.
where he was hot, Mr. Thomas.
He's hotter
yeah,
than
he's-
this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, by default, he's not half goat. But he's also not shirtless, so.
That is true. He is
Yeah.
unlike the women in this film.
Yeah, it
Who are
becomes
naked or not?
very overtly sexual when
It's
yeah,
weird.
Rose Byrne's Moira McTaggart is like trying to spy on like a colonel and see what's going on, and then she's like, "Oh, loads of girls in lingerie are going in. I'm gonna strip down and go and sneak in that way."
Yeah, because they think that
Yeah.
they're like trailing this party at this hotel, and they're like, oh, it's are all these guys communists? Because it's like loads of different
Yeah,
leaders
because
and governors and
McCarthyism.
Hmm.
McCarthyism.
stuff. And they've, as with all good communist parties, they've hired some girls in lingerie to be the entertainment.
Yeah.
Um,
And Emma Frost is leading them.
yeah, Emma Frost, who you can tell is the most important lady because she's wearing the most clothes. In that her lingerie comes with a little sort of fur miniskirt.
Yes.
Yeah, she's wearing the most
also-
clothes for now.
She's also very casually naked. Like, it's
Yeah.
not. It's very casually naked, these characters. Like, she very rarely wears clothes and she seems perfectly happy with it.
Yeah, and when she
'Cause
does
she
wear,
can become a crystal girl. So
Yeah, she can become Crystal.
yeah,
and she also wears like thigh-high boots rather than stockings.
Yeah.
I mean, it works for her.
Wait.
Like, I'm not gonna argue with
Yeah.
the decision they made, but it is very
She
much
fits
men are
in
covered up, women are not.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does. She does sit around important meetings in nothing, like
Yeah.
in next to nothing, which I think is very, it's just very funny because it's just very casual about it. We should talk about their powers as we talk about them
Yeah.
because X-Men have great powers. One thing you
Yeah,
can say,
yeah.
X-Men have all of the X-Men characters. 90% of the X-Men characters have great powers.
But Emma Frost is a telepath, and
She's very powerful.
a very
telepath.
powerful telepath. And she
She's-
also can turn into Diamond.
yeah, and that
Yes,
stops other
which-
telepaths from entering her mind.
I don't know if she can use her telepathy whilst she's Diamond though. I don't think she
No,
can.
I don't
she never
think
does.
so. I think she can block other people's telepathy with being diamonds as well.
Yeah. Like, she can't be. As soon as she turns diamond, she can't be.
Yeah, and the diamond effects do look
Telepathy.
really good in this as well. That's probably why they have her half naked most of the time, so they can show it off.
The effects look great. The
They
effects
were
do look great.
okay. I didn't think they looked fantastic.
I think she looked great. Yeah. She's also, like, when she's diamond, she's super strong and super resilient to damage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like
Yeah.
when she oh gosh, is it towards the end when she's in that cell and she just turns her hand diamond and makes like the little circle like a
Yeah.
Diamond
that's-
cutter.
yeah,
Okay.
it cuts out the glass. Yeah,
That was cool.
That's great.
So yeah, so she and then sure we don't know what his power is for quite a while.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like it's kind of implied that he doesn't have a power until it's revealed later. Like he doesn't ever use it, or
Yeah, he seems to
Or,
just
like-
be a guy.
he's just a dude. He's just the leader.
Yeah.
He seems clever, which sometimes in this film is a superpower.
He's also with Azazel, who is a red demon-looking teleporter.
Red Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
Red Nightcrawler.
because I'm
Red
pretty sure
Nightcrawler.
isn't. There's probably a comic lore somewhere where he is Nightcrawler's dad and Mystique is Nightcrawler's mum, but not in this continuity.
Yes. So, from memory, in some of the comics, he is Nightcrawler's dad. In other comics, Nightcrawler's dad is an actual demon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it depends on the comic series we're going by.
Fucking X-Men. Their timelines make no sense at all.
No.
It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. But Shaw is consistently boring in this film. He's the dullest guy until he uses his powers.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, Azazel's cool. Azazel's fucking psychopath. And Whirlwind guy.
Yeah, the
Who
Wind
says,
Boy
I think, one
from
word.
Ghost Rider, which we watch next week.
Yeah, the guy
in
from
the
Ghost Rider.
continuity of this podcast.
The guy from Ghost Rider. I think his name's Riptide.
It is Riptide, yeah. And he's quite handsome.
Yeah, he's just in the film.
Yeah,
at
he just
some
doesn't
point.
really
He's
do
just
what
in
he's
it.
very much like sort of silent thug.
Yeah, he's
He's
kind
also,
of background.
He's the
X-Man
muscle,
who
but
makes
if the muscle
Whirlwinds.
was farts.
Yeah, well, he's also like never really that much of a threat until at the end of the film.
Yeah,
Because I'm trying to think what he does. He kind of destroys the environment, and that's about it. He's never like a direct threat until later. He's just there, hanging out. He's just so
Yeah, and they kind of know what he can do, but they still always seem terribly shocked when he does what they know he can do.
yeah,
Yeah. Unlike Azazel, who will fight a room of people and win. Whirlwind guy is just hanging out, and every now and then makes a whirlwind to destroy some stuff. He doesn't really hurt people when he does it either. He just kind of moves them from one place to
Jostles.
another. Yeah, he just kind of lightly jostles people.
Hmm.
And they're always so scared of it, but he never does any real damage. Their plan is the Cuban Missile Crisis.
yeah. I mean, at first it's if they put missiles in Turkey, it will start the war, and then when that doesn't happen, they're like, let's do
Yeah.
the Cuban Missile Crisis, which I didn't know was an actual thing until after I'd seen this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dan.
I mean, when it came out, like in 2011.
Not
so-
now.
Not now. Yeah, I'm not saying.
No,
it, but,
no, I
hang
know,
on.
but still, that.
Yeah, it
old
wasn't
were you?
2011. I'd have been like 18. Yeah.
We
Okay.
don't
You never
really
looked
learn.
into. I thought you were like obsessed with Fallout and everything. You'd never looked into the Cold War.
No, I just
The
didn't
Cold
really
War
know
was
about the
boring.
Cuban Missile Crisis. So
Okay, well, fair.
The Cold War's boring.
That's why it's
Fallout's
called
fun.
The Cold War.
Yeah, not the super fun, exciting war.
Yeah, I feel like you should never call a war that. That's a really bad branding for a war. Doesn't look good like 10 years down the line.
No.
But yeah, so their plan is initially kidnap a American general and kind of threaten / blackmail him into putting missiles in Turkey to cause a war between.
Europe
start
and
the war.
Europe,
Essentially,
Russia and
yeah.
America.
Start a nuclear war because they believe that the reason the mutants are getting a bit more prevalent is because of the radiation used from nukes and stuff. So their
Sure.
plan is nuke the world, and then the humans will all die, and the X-Men will get even more powerful, like the mutants.
Yes, that makes sense. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
again, as with X-Men 1, it's kind of got one of those plans where it's like, I see where you're coming from, but it still
So, like,
needs
you need-
work.
I feel like you as a group need to sit down with a scientist and kind of work out what will
Yeah.
actually happen.
Yeah,
'Cause,
instead of I'll do this and it'll be fine, because you can rule
It
a
might
world
not.
when there's nothing left of it.
It might not be good. Also, yeah, then you've only got mutants left, which is kind of, I guess, the point. Hopefully,
But also
the ones that
nothing,
are
like, I mean, these
radiant resistant.
mutants still need to, do things like eat and function.
yeah. I guess you just kind of hope there's a radiant radiation immune guy somewhere.
Yeah, well, Shaw
Kinda
Shaw's
hope.
obviously very radiation immune,
Yeah, he just absorbs it.
but yeah, that's not like a
No,
guarantee for
he-
all the others.
He'd die of radiation poisoning because he's only immune to stuff that like hits him hard.
Yeah, he can
Poisoning
only
is different.
absorb energy, not radiation.
Yeah,
As in radiation,
Poison
a
will
type
get
of
him.
energy,
I'm not a
Everything is a type of
scientist.
energy. But like a poisoning,
and he
is slow
literally
enough
holds
that he
onto
won't-
the plutonium and absorbs that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But long term, we don't know how that affected him long term.
No. Well, he
Like-
died, but not from that. So-
Yeah, no, he died. I
Yeah.
don't think that
Yeah.
was radiation related.
Yeah, so it's one of those ideas. It's just like, well, that's dumb because like I
No,
can
it's
I can totally
incredibly
understand
stupid.
having that. Well, no, not totally understand because I'm not a Nazi, but like, oh, okay, superior race, and we'll enslave, eradicate
Yeah.
the ones we don't need and enslave the rest
Yeah,
of the humans. But you
but
still
they-
have to be quite choosy about when and how you kill them.
it just feels like it feels like a step. It feels like a rough draft of a plan that they just sort of kept going with.
Yeah, because
Like,
I
no
mean,
one stopped.
entire one nuclear war or launching some nuclear missiles to another country to make those mutants to then raise an army of mutants to then attack the other country that's not
Yeah.
full of nuclear fallout.
It's a
Excellent.
long.
Is that a great idea?
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
It's very long term though. I feel like they'd work out what's going on and stop you.
Well, maybe it'll be too late because you've already irradiated a massive country. If
true.
like they irradiate Russia or like Russia and China and India, and then when they've got all
It's a lot.
the new mutants that have come from that.
But they don't have any. Do they have any proof that it's from radiation, or are they just guessing?
No, they just kind of speculate that that's what's caused the
Mm.
sort of uptick in the
In mutants.
sort of mutant. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's no
isn't
evidence for
that
it.
like this? Because we do listen to a bit of Charles's speech or his thesis on
Yeah.
yeah,
mutants and how there's more of them now because of the theory is because of nuclear,
Yeah.
the emergence of the nuclear age.
Which I feel
Yeah.
like is never talked about in any other X-Men
no,
film.
it's just brief enough in the background of this for the plot of this one, and it's fine.
You're like, it kind of makes sense a bit.
Mm. Yeah.
Kind of.
So
Don't
what they're
think
doing
about
is
it.
like they're establishing Charles Xavier as an expert on mutants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
the only expert on mutants.
and
and
because of what
when-
Moira has seen,
yeah,
she's
well,
like,
she's
oh yeah, I
seen
need
in
to
the-
talk to her.
Yeah,
He's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, we need
we need an expert on
specialist.
mutants.
Yeah, because Azazel grabs them and teleports the general like halfway across the world.
Yeah,
And
and she
he's like,
sees Emma
uh,
Frost in her kind of diamond.
Sparkly form.
Yeah, shiny,
And he's like,
shiny
we're gonna
edition.
play
Better
something.
than they do it better than Twilight.
Yes. It would have been so good if that was just how it was done in Twilight. But yeah, so she's like, oh, mutants are real. I need to find someone that knows about mutants. So she finds Professor X. He uses the whole, you've got a mutation.
It was a very
Yeah, 'cause
groovy
of her hair
mutation.
colour.
Auburn hair.
And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah,
Very
whatever.
He is very, very
He's,
drunk.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
he's just done a yard.
Yeah, a yard of
Um,
oh, that
yeah.
doesn't sound fun.
No.
No, it's a lot of liquid all in one go.
I quite like the scene around this point as well, where Eric goes to Argentina to because he's trying to track down Shaw, and he's just like drinking beer, and there's the two Nazis that have escaped.
Yeah, Magneto Nazi Hunter.
Yeah, he does a fucking such a cool move in this bit. So he's like stabbed the knife into this guy's hand, and then really quickly he flicks it away into someone else, and then back into the guy's hand. And I was like, oh, that was
Yeah.
smooth.
I thought he was when the guy was like going to shoot him. I thought he was going to stop the bullet midair. That would be cool.
Yeah, and then like
They
fire it back.
Yeah.
The
Or just
the
drop it,
little
that's
scene
such a
before that
threatening
is
thing to do.
him getting the lead to Argentina.
Oh yeah, by
is at
pulling the guy's
bank.
fillings out.
Yeah, pulling the guy's
Yeah.
fillings. That was fun. I mean, not fun, but like the guy's faces that he's pulling are like 1,000%
Yeah.
actor, which is great because
Yeah.
like it would be excruciating, but how do you act that without, I guess, knowing
Yeah.
exactly what excruciating pain that would be?
Yeah.
But his face is fantastic.
I've had fillings fall out. It wasn't that painful.
Well, have you had one
Yeah, but
ripped
were they
out?
ripped out
Well, I
by
had a shit
Magneto?
dentist, so like
Alright.
kinda. Magneto would make a shit dentist. Amazing solderer, though. You get him to solder anything.
Oh, I guess
Can
he
he
wouldn't.
melt
Yeah,
metal?
but he wouldn't have to heat it up, would he? So.
Could he melt metal?
Does
I
he
guess if
melt it? He just kind of bends
made-
it. I guess if you make it
Yeah.
move fast enough, it'll melt. From,
Yeah,
like,
you could probably
Rub it
friction
against
it.
each
Yeah,
other real quick. Vibrate metal real quick until it melts.
he probably could.
Yeah, so whilst Professor X, little Charles is trying to, like, work out, like, what's going on with these mutants, yeah, Magneto's just on his Nazi hunting path.
Yeah. And it gets to the
Trying to
point
find Shaw.
where, yeah, the colonel who's been blackmailed is like, oh, I'll pull this grenade and kill Shaw and everyone, and that's when Shaw absorbs the power from the grenade, and you're like, oh shit, he's got
so
power.
he's very cool. Well, not cool, but it's a cool scene in that he's like, I'm gonna. The general's like, I'm gonna blow us all up, and he's like, you're not gonna do that. And he takes the grenade and he's like, but I will.
Yeah,
And it's like,
and he absorbs the
ooh.
power from it, and then just kind of flicks the guy, and he flies off because it's the power of a grenade.
Yeah, the way he can absorb the energy, but he can also like discharge it.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, you
I
have to
really
fight
like
him
the
gently.
effect they do of when he absorbs energy. I thought it worked really
Yeah,
well, considering
yeah.
it's not that like
Yeah.
technically advanced.
No, but it
But
looks
his body
it,
kind of-
it
it's
works
pretty
for
good. It
what
looks
you
really
need
cool.
it for. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that's
that's great.
aged better than the Emma Frost like CGI
Yeah,
because
yeah, that
it's,
just has to be more consistent and, like, follow her body, which I guess is the difficult bit.
Yeah, and it's a lot of reflecting and shininess, which is
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, it sounds like a hell to, like, animate.
So whereas this effect worked, I just thought it was really neat because
No,
it like you
Yeah,
can
it's cool.
totally understand what he's doing when he's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the Coast Guard with Charles and Moira and that all kind of come in,
So-
and that's when Windy Boy shoots some boats in the air. But Eric finds them at the same time, and he destroys the boat with the anchor, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
he take that. You've missed a bit where the CIA recruit James, not James.
Yeah, they do, yeah. James McAvoy, yeah.
James McAvoy. And he
Professor X.
totally accidentally drops Moira in it by being like, I could tell you what pie they're having downstairs because you were thinking about that. But I'm actually more interested in the missiles you were thinking of putting in Turkey. And they're like, he's a goddamn spy.
He's a spy.
You're a
Yeah.
goddamn spy. And he's like, no, I'm not a spy, I'm a telepath. And they're like, oh, whatever. And then,
And then Mystique's like, I'm blue, bitch, fuck you.
well, no, she's like, I'm the general now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me. I am the general.
I was like, how's that for a party trick? Bitch! But he doesn't say bitch because it's Charles Xavier.
I wish you would, though.
Let Charles
wants to.
Xavier say
James,
bitch once.
Yeah. Once
James
per movie.
McAvoy kept doing it, and they had to stop him. But I like that they kept the whole Charles Xavier can freeze people in time thing.
yeah, and he's
On
just
the
talking to
Oculus.
Moira while everyone else is frozen.
Yeah, I feel would be awful for, like, your psyche, if you just got froze for a second.
Well, I guess you
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, I feel like your brain would know.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
feel
like
like,
your
hang
brain
on,
would
there's
be like-
like a minute's gone and I don't know why.
Yeah, but that happens
You
to me
feel
all
kinda
the
sick.
time.
Yeah,
That's
same. I just
fine.
had 10 days off work. I have no idea where that went.
Froze by Xavier as he talked to someone near you.
yeah.
Also, he could have done that without freezing everyone. Like, he's psychic.
Yeah, but he
doesn't
had to
need
show it off, I
freeze
guess.
That's true.
So they go to this facility,
Yeah, the facility.
which is the first sort of X-Men facility, CIA facility, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they go around and collect mutants.
Yeah, so they take Eric back with them because Eric tries to magnet onto the submarine, and it's like, dude, let go or you'll fucking drown.
Yeah.
I love
But-
this
so
scene.
yeah, Shaw escapes
it's
in the
so
submarine.
much like, oh, you're not alone anymore, Eric. You're
Yeah.
not alone, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, good Eric.
They become
Oh.
the besties.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so they go back to the
shipped it
mutant
hard
facility.
as a
They
teenager.
become the mutant duo.
Yeah. So they go to the little
What
facility,
was that,
and
Helena?
Nicholas
No,
Holt
wait.
is there.
What was that, Helena? Nah, Dad, wait. What was that, Helena?
I said I
I'm not
definitely
anything.
shipped it when I was a
Cool.
teenager.
Oh.
Didn't want that to go. I didn't want that to drip through the... Through the
Yeah,
net,
no,
if
I
I'm
s-
honest. Just
one
wanted
of-
to know.
That
One
was
of the
a lot
letterbox-
of Tumblr posts.
Yeah, one of the letterbox reviews for this is the beach scene is the best breakup in movie history.
Pretty sure I cried every time watching that.
But they go around. Nicholas Holt is there with his big feet.
Yeah,
'cause,
so Nicholas Holt
they
is there.
don't know
and
he's
the-
a mutant, and
and
Xavier
Charles
just
Xavier,
outs him, and it's like,
he
dude,
outs
just
him, but he's
outs
like,
him.
Yeah.
it's Charles
How
Xavier.
dare
He
you.
could have,
Outs him,
he
like,
could have
right
wiped
there.
that. He could have asked, "Do you want that to be a secret?"
He's got beast feet, but he doesn't have the rest of the beast yet.
no.
Yeah, he's just got real big hand feet, and he's strong, but he's also super duper smart.
Yeah. He's incredible. He's just super intelligent. I guess at that point, he's not like... Professor X isn't... He wants mutants to be proud to be mutants.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he's like, no, be you. You do you.
Yeah,
You're allowed to
mutant
be a
and
mutant.
proud, as he says.
Yeah.
But Hank is kind of working on a serum to make the humans make the mutants look a bit more human.
Yeah,
Because he's-
and that's So then they start.
So I go
He invents Cerebro version 1.0.
Yeah. Hank's made that, and so Xavier uses that to find all of the different other mutants. Oh yeah, and he's like,
We
"Are you
have
sure
a
I can't shave your head
montage."
to use this?" And he's like, "Don't touch my hair."
Don't touch my hair. Love that.
Yeah, the montage is really good. Like, I mean, it starts with him going to a strip club.
Yeah, they find Angel.
Angel,
maybe
yeah.
the worst superhero.
Yeah,
Maybe the worst of the group.
she has wings and
It's
can spit
neat.
acid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a niche power.
Yeah,
her wings are really cool though, and I love the way that they're like a tattoo that she can bring out and put back.
yeah, that was quite cool.
Her wings are very cool. But she's just, in comparison to the rest of the team that they assemble. she
Yeah,
is a bit of
considering there's
shit.
Darwin as a cab driver,
We need to talk about Darwin.
Alex
Oh,
Summers,
jeez,
but
I'm
he's
so
kind of
angry about Darwin.
in prison.
Yeah, because
um,
he keeps shooting, like, fucking atomic rings from his body.
Yeah,
Who's Havoc. Banshee.
Banshee. He's like, "Look, Mum, it's
Oh,
fucking
Banshee.
Nemo," and he's then shoots all the
Oh,
clownfish
yeah.
away.
He's just flirting with a girl. That
And
was
then-
originally meant to be the guy from Misfits. The
Oh,
Irish guy.
okay. Yeah,
Because it's an Irish superhero. They wanted it to be Robert Sheeran.
yeah.
Yeah,
They wanted it to be him, but he was filming Misfits.
Oh, that's a shame. He would
He
have been
was
great
so
in that
good.
role. I recognise
so
the guy
good.
that was Banshee, but I couldn't work out what from.
Yeah,
I really like it. I really like him. Caleb Jones.
No, he's really good.
I like
He's
him in a
really
lot
good.
of things. He's really good in 3 Billboards.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he's in that, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Also,
Yeah.
this film has a cameo that actually fits into the movie at the place and time that it should be,
does.
which is
It
great.
does, which is rare.
Yeah,
But
like
it's-
Wolverine
it's-
just saying "Go fuck yourself." 10 out of 10.
Fuck
Perfect
yourself,
scene.
yeah. Amazing. Move on.
Yeah. Don't base
Move
half your
on.
plot around that.
But yeah, so they gather all of these. Are there any others?
That's all of them. Yeah, because Emma Frost can kind of sense that they're using Cerebro as well. But then they're all kind of hanging out, chatting. They're like, oh, trying
Picking
to choose their
superhero
names, and then I wanted to be Mystique.
Yeah, so we should go through their powers,
Hmm.
and we'll go through Darwin last because I'm fucking angry.
Yeah.
Still angry about that. So we have Banshee who can scream.
Yeah.
And like
real-
shatter glass and scream real high, real
specifically.
hard.
Yeah, he can fly and uses scream to like make him fly. Real cool guy.
Angel, we've
Angel,
already
who
covered.
can fly.
Can
Yeah.
grow
Yeah.
wings and
Spit.
spit
acid.
acid. It's sort of like a weird
Yeah.
acid corrosive lump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, angel powers. Can
Yeah.
fly and spit acid, as we all know.
Yeah.
Angel.
I do like that everyone is like, that is really gross,
Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Hank, big
Um,
feet, clever face.
Yeah.
Pretty clever.
Mystique's here, and then
It implied
Alex
big dick.
Alex Summers is Scott Summers' brother, but he doesn't just have the shooty
Yeah.
eyes. He's just like creates.
He's got the
Chaos
shooty
Cowboy.
hula hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a big hula hoop movement and fires
Yeah.
some rings out.
I do really enjoy the like Scooby Doo esque bit where that he's like stand back. Oh, let's stay back, and they
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they
all
keep
go
putting
around
their
the
heads
corner.
right.
Because they're
Yeah.
all like getting to know each other and showing it. This scene they're like showing off, and it's nice because because this is like X-Men First Class. The whole point is that everyone is kind of young and doesn't know what they're
Yeah, they're
doing.
all like
Yeah, and they're all
They're
kind of
also, like,
bonding
none
and
of
becoming
them-
friends.
Yeah.
none of them have ever met other mutants before.
Yeah.
No, so they're kind of showing off their powers and stuff and coming up with funny names. And then, yeah, when Charles and Eric get back, they're like, you should be Professor X and you should be Magneto. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cheesy.
That's pretty great.
But yeah,
It's
Darwin
good.
adapts
So-
to survive.
Yeah, Darwin's power is he can adapt to survive. His body, at like a molecular level, adapts to survive whatever situation he is put in.
Mhm.
It's a very important power that we need to remember. I'm very angry because the facility gets attacked whilst Professor X and
Yeah,
Magneto are away.
because
Yeah,
they,
like a
they,
little
they
bit
were
later
clued in by Emma Frost that they're recruiting because she can feel the telepathic waves miles away.
Yeah, of Cerebro,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
in,
Cerebro's
in their
amplifying
cool
it
submarine, their evil submarine lair.
that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while Charles and... Oh, so Charles and Eric have gone off to find out something from a Russian military guy, and Emma Frost is there and she's making the general think he's fucking her, but she's just sitting in a chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Eric uses the metal bed to, like, crack her diamond form.
Yeah, that
I-
bit was a bit kind of BDSM-y, but not in a
Hmm.
fun,
I
consensual
think
way.
it's more in like a murder way, but I'd have
Yeah.
thought it's Diamond body that like is super strong. Wouldn't it break the metal first?
Yeah,
It's just a
you'd think
metal
that.
bed frame. It's just a hollow metal bed frame. Like I can lean on it too much and it'll break. It's just like hollow like brass.
Yeah,
tube.
because isn't it all about the hardness scale?
yeah,
Which, lol. But also, yeah, that surely the bed frame would break before it would splinter her. But maybe she's not diamond. We all just kind of assume she's diamond. Maybe she's just very, very hard.
she's just glass.
She's just shiny.
she's
She's just the rare Pokemon
reflective
card.
and super strong.
But yeah, so while they're away doing that, Helena, what
The-
pinball machine are they playing at the
Azazel-
facility?
Oh,
We haven't done
I've
this
played
in a
it. Is it Funland?
Oh
while.
no, I
I'm
didn't
pretty
write
sure
it
it's
down.
Funland. I say we've played this. I've played this.
Yeah.
It's a good machine. Had a addable version called Fun Park,
Wow.
which I think I've also played. Yeah, it's a good EM. That's electromechanical.
Like Daft
I'm
Punk.
glad that it doesn't. Oh, it does get destroyed, doesn't it? Or does it?
Mhm.
Oh,
I think
Yeah, I
it
guess
gets destroyed. Yeah,
Everything gets
Yeah.
destroyed
very hard to have a
because Azazel
I
just starts teleporting guards into the air.
just
yeah, that
killing
was
people.
cool, but like horrible
Yeah,
yeah. That's how you kill people as a teleporter.
because you
Yeah.
you can see what he's doing, but you don't see them land, and then it cuts to them inside, and you just hear the crunch of people falling from the sky, and they're like, "Oh, what
Yeah.
was that
Yeah.
sound?"
Shaw is just walking in.
yeah.
With his
Shaw's
hat on.
walking and he starts getting shot at. The Windy Boy destroys Cerebro with the.
I loved the whole fight, and everyone's doing cool things, and like Shaw is using kinetic energy of a rocket launcher to blow everyone up, and Azazel's like teleporting about, killing like 20 guards, and Windy Boy is just being wind.
Yeah, he just destroys Cerebro. He's like, there we go.
He's being the big bad wolf.
He's just putting wind around Cerebro, destroying it. You're like, and it keeps cutting to him, and you're like, cool.
Cool,
He's
we-
still
we get it. Ooh.
Yeah, but the
But they
Someone's
back
been
away
eating
from the
beans.
I
Yeah, the
love it.
mutants are
They
all like,
back
"Oh,
away
we
from
wanna
Azazel,
help."
Like,
help repel these guys, and they're like, no, it's too dangerous.
yeah, the guards are like, no, don't do it. It's like, these are literally super people.
Yeah, you are people
There's-
getting
there's a guy
annihilated.
There's a guy here that literally can't die, which is important to remember. and fucking hula hoop guy, and to be fair, there's a girl that can fly and spit shit, and she's not great. But the rest of them, and Miss,
You can
Skin
tell
tone?
she's a bit shit because she goes off with the evil mutants when they're like.
that
she,
was
no,
so.
well, she has her reasons.
I thought Banshee went off, but he doesn't.
I think he joins the Magneto's team.
Yeah, like late in a
Brotherhood.
different movie,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think he's on Magneto's team. But, oh man, so they fight. They like try and fight him off. The
And these
kids
are
like, well,
X-Men, but they're not X-Men because they've not had any training at all.
they're kids,
They're children.
but they're gonna stand a better chance against these guys than like normal guards who are just getting wiped out in the tents.
Yeah, but what obviously really sinks in for them, and is I think one of the reasons that obviously Angel switches sides immediately is
Yeah.
they're They're in there. The
One of the
mutants are
guards.
in there. Please kill them, but we don't
leave us
normal people alone.
Yeah. Ugh. But they walk in, and Shaw's like, "Join us. We'll help you. We're superpower people." And Angel's like, "I'll join you." And you reckon Shaw was like, "Shit."
Yeah, I was like, well, we did say anyone, I guess.
Ooh, we'd rather have had literally anyone else.
Yeah, they're like, you sure
Yeah.
no one else wants to come?
Look, we've got a teleporter, so flying is just kind of a bit rubbish.
And like the spit is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Are you sure?
Mystique? How do you know my name's Mystique? Alright.
And then Darwin's like, "Oh well, I'll come." And then
Because I'm adapt to survive.
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Alex, kill him!" And
Yeah.
and
Have a
and,
go,
and,
throws
and
a hula
Alex
hoop.
Summers throws his power at Shaw, but Shaw can absorb it.
He catches it and absorbs it.
It's
and...
really it's a similar oh shit moment to X-Men 1 where Magneto and Wolverine face off, and it's like, Wolverine has a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah.
And it's like, if
Yeah.
your power is hurling energy at someone and their power is they can absorb energy.
Absorbing energy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, and then the worst part of the entire film happens, like, very angry about, that Darwin's, like, steps up to Shaw, and Shaw grabs his face and puts Havoc's laser in him, like, as a ball, like, the energy,
Yeah.
and Darwin, like, trying to mutate, and he's like, Shaw's like, survive this, and does it, and he's, like, mutating to try, and his body's changing to try and survive it,
Yeah.
and he ends up dying. It's like, of all the characters you could have killed at that time, you picked the one character whose only power is to survive.
Yeah, I suppose it's
How'd you kill that character off?
like, adapt to this, and he just starts fucking going all mad.
In the comics, at one point Darwin turns into a universe to survive something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be like, well,
they really
can't-
are. Yeah. They really nerfed
They
him in
re-
this, didn't they?
they really had to kill the black guy in the film.
Yeah,
it.
I did notice that this time. It's something that hadn't actually occurred to me. I think I don't know when I last saw this. It's been years, but it is very much the sacrificial black lamb of the movie, so
Yeah.
that the others can grow and develop.
Yeah, they picked like the guy that can survive literally anything is the one that has to die. It's so it's the worst use of powers in any film ever.
Yeah, it is.
Because
it is
it just
mad. I
makes
suppose it's supposed
no
to be,
sense.
I guess, like the shock factor, or
No,
Shaw is really
he-
fucking powerful.
You'd have got the same instance if you'd have killed Banshee.
Yeah.
Like you'd have got the exact
Yeah, but
same
we need
impact if
Banshee
you'd
for
have
his
killed Banshee.
sonar capabilities.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it
I
would have
feel
got
like
the same
they
impact if you
didn't
killed
have
anyone
it didn't
else.
have to be a black man or Darwin who
It
died.
didn't have to be Darwin.
Like there could
Like,
have been
it
a
just-
different character, and
It
he
could have
wasn't
been
in it. Like, why
literally
include that character
anyone.
who can't die and kill him off?
Yeah.
For the sole purpose to be killed off. He's
Yeah.
put in the film to be killed off. He's the only character that can't be killed off. Literally any other character would have been fine to replace him in that scene. And he could have been in the rest of the film.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's so annoying.
Like, you could have used his funky powers, like, in all the scenes where, like, you know, at the end where the plane's crashing and all that kind of thing, and he's, like, grows wings, or if he lands in the water, he can swim and he gets gills and
It
shit.
would have been
Like,
so cool. It would have been so cool.
Yeah, he
Watching
could
him
have been
fight-
really interesting, and instead he's
Like,
like
how-
a pawn.
How would Darwin fight Emma Frost and her psychic powers?
yeah.
How would he fight a teleporter
Ooh.
as a survival?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Watching
heavy.
Darwin fight Azazel would have been great
Yeah.
because Darwin would have to like be transforming and adapting so quickly to survive whatever Azazel's doing to him. It'd have been great. They'd have been like dropping him from a height, and Darwin would have turned into like a parachute.
Oh, he
Yeah.
just goes all flying squirrel.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I mean, disgusting.
And the training scene,
Yeah.
like the training scene with Darwin, would have just been like, well, if I push you off a building, what happens?
Yeah, let's see what happens if I hit you with this
To
car.
be fair, the pushing off a building thing does happen anyway.
Yeah, just with
But yeah,
Banshee.
Literally, the
Darwin, it could have
Banshee
been so
training.
fun. He really could have
Yeah.
been more entertaining and better used. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like because it is like the training montage that follows this when they're like, we want to be X-Men, we want to do this properly and like
Yeah.
event, like we want to fight, like we're invested now.
Yeah, they're like,
Um,
we should avenge him. It's like, no, wrong team, guys.
Maybe it was like
no, we're
yes.
not allowed to use that word.
But yeah, they go to Professor X's family mansion.
Yeah, lucky he has a big mansion they can use because the
It's an
facility
absolutely
got wrecked.
fucking huge house.
Yeah, so this bugs me a little bit about the way that they set up Mystique. Because it's very
Yeah.
clear that Charles takes her under his wing and manipulates his family into being okay with her being there.
Yeah,
So why is she having to be a waitress at the start?
yeah.
Like, why can't she
I guess that's her. That might just be
pursue-
her decision.
I guess she might be like, I want to make my own money and go my own way, but it's like,
Oh, she is also traveling with him.
well, he's at university.
That's true.
So,
I guess
and he's,
she. I
he's
guess
doing
she.
a thesis, so he's been doing that for 4 years.
I I guess she was like, yeah, I want to go by myself.
But she also
makes
seems to really
sense.
like resent it, and it's like, I'm having to waitress while he's doing this, and it's like, well, surely you've never wanted for anything since you got there.
Yeah, I mean, she's just complicated.
Yeah.
She's also like a mutant that can't really hide. That has to constantly hide who she is.
Yes.
Whereas, like,
Yeah.
Professor X is like, my powers are cool.
it's
I
a
can read
groovy
people's mind.
mutation.
Yeah, and there's nothing like, there's no physical indicator that he has powers apart from when he puts his fingers to his head. Like,
yeah, but then he just looks
It's-
like a twat. He doesn't look particularly like super powery.
whereas like she has to constantly be concentrating a bit
Yeah.
on being. I imagine she'd resent that. I would.
Yeah, no, she clearly does.
Yeah.
It's a big
So you,
point,
you'd kind of
plot
use
point.
any ammo to be like, I resent you for this reason, but like I can't resent you for that reason, so I'm going to resent you for everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that that's why I resent you. I need Magneto to tell me. I need Magneto to do it.
Oh, and he does.
Yeah, yeah. Because he's like, yeah, you do you, girl.
Yeah, you get the meme scene where he's like, I prefer the real Raven.
The real Raven. And she's blue. And the makeup team
It's just
fucking
this
rob.
northern guy in a black costume with a feathery staff.
Yeah.
You have come to the trials.
Do you
Uh,
reckon she's
I don't know
not
if
blue
that,
that
joke
much
probably
because...
doesn't travel overseas particularly
Yeah, no,
well.
I remember that show.
Everyone loved Raven, but not That So Raven.
Yeah,
'Cause that would also
not
have been a
that.
good cameo.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you reckon... Welsh guy just in the bed. Do you reckon the reason she's not blue more is just because of the makeup team?
she's blue in
Like, it
this
was just
quite
too
frequently. This
expensive.
film, I found, rewatching it, absolutely whizzes by.
Oh yeah, it's
Hmm,
quick.
Yeah,
Like, this film is fast-paced. And
she's blue a
it's-
lot towards the end when she's comfortable with
Yeah.
being blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the start when she's blue, it's... Yeah, I think I remember reading somewhere that it just took hours to put
Whole yeah.
the girl... What's her name?
Jennifer
Oh.
Lawrence.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I was about to say Jennifer Lopez, and I'm just like, I know it's not that.
Yeah, no, Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez in this film was Mystique.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched this, I assumed they had someone else being Mystique
In the blue.
In blue, I
Hmm.
don't know why, because that.
Yeah.
But it's like in my mind, they look so different. I was like, well, that's not Jennifer
It's like-
Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence isn't blue, but you
It's
know,
the bad wig. It's the
that's
bad
the
wig.
magic of cinema, I guess.
Yeah.
I do like the thought that whenever she turns into someone else, that actor just has to pretend to be Mystique
Yeah.
for a bit
Yeah, yeah.
and like sit and stand like Mystique does. I like that. Every time it happens, I'm like, huh.
Yeah, well,
Like
that first scene when at the CIA office when she turns into the general and she just looks
Yeah.
quite like smug and happy, and
Yeah.
he's like kind of patting her big belly.
Yeah. And when she turns into Banshee, and he's sat there quite camply.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the idea that they're like, you're gonna be Mystique for like 30 seconds.
I wonder if they do it the same as remember the Deathly Hallows there's a scene
Yeah.
where Beatrix Lestrange is playing Hermione playing Beatrix Lestrange.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they got Hermione to act. Not Hermione, what's her name?
Emma
God,
Watson.
That's the
yeah.
one.
It was.
I'm
Yeah, they
forgetting
got her
some
to
really
act
fucking
this
scene.
famous people's names today.
They got Jennifer Lawrence to do.
And so
You
she
got J-Lo
recorded
to
it, and
do
then
it.
they recorded her doing it as in character, and then they got Bellatrix Strange to
to recreate.
redo
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I guess
I
that might
guess-
help, but
I guess, yeah. I guess, like, to do it quickly, they'd probably be like, "Hey, J-Lo, do this scene," and then just get the actor to do copier.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's only for, like, it's never for that long. It's only for, like, a couple shots. So, it was probably, like, if you do it and then you just copy.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think they'd spend that long on it.
But yeah, they're all training. They have a week until the
Training.
Russian missile ship arrives. There was a scene where like Charles just holds a gun to Eric's head, and I'm like, oh no, he's
Yeah.
gonna bend the bullets.
Well, he does do that because with Havoc, he's like, when they give him the suit and he can like aim his into a single beam.
Hmm.
He gets him and Magneto to stand on either side of a thing, and I was like, oh god, the bullets are back.
Yeah. Like, do
Oh,
it.
God.
Just shoot the thing.
To shoot around, just that scene, but oh my god, what's her name? The woman from Wanted.
Angelina Jolie.
Oh, Angelina Jolie.
Ange-
I remember
Angelina
that one.
Jolie's-
Jesus.
Angelina Jolie steps in the way. Bend your beam around her.
I mean,
Yeah.
more believable than bending a bullet. Still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love the training montage. It's so
With your ADHD.
because
Yeah.
it's obviously there's a lot of comedic relief in the build up to like the big fight.
Yeah.
But where he's
It's
like,
fun,
he
like-
lets Alex Rider in there first,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, I'll live. And then immediately like the sirens go off, and he goes in, and literally everything flammable is on fire.
Yeah.
It's fun superhero shit.
Yeah, like Banshee trying to learn to fly, and the first time he just falls off the roof.
Just hits the ground. And everyone's watching him because they're all still kids.
Yeah.
And he
like,
just falls face first into a hedge. Don't forget to scream. And then when they do a better version where it's like at the top of the Cerebro tower thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the big radar
big
dish.
radar
Yeah.
dish,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, now I do it, and he's like getting cold feet, so Eric just pushes him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent, but the
just
like the
falls.
way they do the sound waves
Mm.
is terrible.
Yeah.
It's so
I just-
badly
yeah.
animated.
It's all right.
It's a hard
It's
thing
hard
to
to show
animate.
that. So yeah. But yeah, I
It's
like
just-
when he's training Eric as well. He's like, you could be the most powerful mutant if you could control this. And he's like, oh, you want the sweet spot between anger and serenity.
Because he's like, shoot me in the face. I'm not going to shoot in the face. Shoot me in the face. He's like, no, because you can already stop the bullet. I know you can stop the bullet.
Yeah.
It's like
He's
if you know
"Turn
you can
that
do
big
it, then
thing."
you're not challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, God
Turn
damn
the
it,
big
you're
dish.
right.
Turn the big dish so we can get Sky.
Yeah.
Just like while all of this time, while like he's just Magneto's going around the house telling Mystique she should be blue.
Yeah, because
She's just lifting
Hank-
weights, and you kind of remember how shit her powers are.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hank
she's
finishes
not really
his,
a fighter.
She's not that
No.
good in a fight. This one.
But yeah, Hank finishes his serum, and he's like, you can use it to look normal, and just really upsets Mystique because he's like, no, you're gorgeous when you're a human, not when you're, as I've written down, beautiful. She's not very beautiful.
No.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah,
like,
the-
your blue form. And it's like,
Yeah,
dude, harsh.
that's her
what she
normal
looks like.
self. Like,
But
Yeah,
yeah, it really... So no wonder she goes to Eric for comfort.
yeah, because
Are
he
you saying
sees
that there's
her
a
as
bit of-
yeah.
Every now and then, the civil rights movement just slides out
Yeah.
of this film. It
Yeah.
creeps in every now and then, and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's about self-acceptance,
Yeah,
and fear."
because
But
yeah,
he's like
Hank
the
uses
real-
the serum,
Yeah,
and it
James between
amplifies
his
it
big
instead.
toes. Yeah, he goes. It
He accidentally
amplifies
blew
it, and it's
himself.
like, What do you mean it amplifies it? Because at no point was he blue and hairy. Like at
Well,
no point...
it amplifies his weird beast feet.
Yeah, but at no point were they like blue and hairy.
No, it just.
It's-
I
I
guess
think the
because he
blueness
used part
is
of
from
Mystique's
Mystique.
gene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
because he's using
So
her
instead
form.
of making Mystique more like him, it's made him more like Mystique.
Him more like Mystique, yeah.
Yeah, he accidentally blew himself.
He
Yeah,
did,
you
he did
made that
accidentally
joke
blow himself.
already.
Yeah,
It was funny the first time.
yeah.
But now he's super strong, super fast, and super smart.
Yeah,
And
and even
super
Alex
blue.
Ryder has like
Alex
Like-
Summers.
Alex Summers.
Alex Ryder is a
said Alex
different
Ryder.
character.
Different franchise.
Ah,
Fucking
blonde, bit of an
Yeah.
arsehole. Like whatever.
yeah,
yeah.
So Alex Summers like, I've got a new name for you, Beast,
yeah.
and he growls.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's great.
like they go in the morning and the lab's absolutely trashed, but he's like left a suitcase with some cool suits for them.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah,
quite
the
like
old
like
blue
the
and-
yellow and blue suits
Yellow
they
and
have
black
in
suits.
this. Like
Yeah,
they're
they look a bit
comic
goofy.
booky, but like realistic enough that they're not.
They look
they're
a bit
too
goofy.
wacky. Yeah,
Look a bit goofy.
they're like comic book
When-
goofy, but in a good way for the movie. Like how they made Iron Man look like an actual fucking thing. Like
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of like coming from the jet black leather.
Yeah.
It's,
yeah,
it's like, oh, yeah, they actually went down the normal route.
yeah.
But yeah, then we get to the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes, the ship with the missiles on is being told to turn around by the Russians, but it doesn't because Azazel has already killed everyone on there.
And just kind of set it to go.
Yeah.
And the plan is he's going to teleport out before it explodes because the Americans are threatening to blow it up because it's getting close to American waters.
Mhm.
And the Russians are like, that's not us.
yeah. They call
Yeah,
it like, is it a
and they're there as
elimination
well.
mark, or is like if you cross this
Yeah.
line,
we will
then,
fire. Yeah,
we will fire,
yeah,
and that will
So-
start World War III.
yeah. So Charles kind of takes over the mind of one of the Russians and makes them shoot the cargo ship to be like, look, we don't want this to go across the line. It's fine.
Yeah. So they stop the war there.
Yeah.
And then they start a fight with... And then the mutant fight happens.
yeah.
But also, that ship was full of nukes, right?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just a cargo ship.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't like a weapon ship. It was just a ship.
No, because it was taking the missiles to Cuba, right?
Yeah, but I mean, maybe
No.
as long as you only explode the ship and not the.
I don't know.
The nuclear weapons just sink to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, we have established I
they're
don't
not
know
armed.
about the Cuban Missile Crisis, so
Unless they like have to be armed.
I'm gonna let you know
Yeah,
now,
probably.
Dan. There weren't any mutants.
what?
That's what they tell you.
Yeah,
There's a lot of mystery around the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Cold War. There might have been mutants. But yeah.
yeah,
they're
so-
not armed.
so they can't find where Shaw is because he's got this magic helmet on.
Yeah.
But
and
Banshee
there's no other
is
people
used
with
as
him.
sonar to find where the submarine is.
What I don't get is they're constantly like, we don't know where they are. Shaw's got his helmet on. There are other people you
Yeah.
could be looking for.
But it is really cool when Magneto like raises the
Lifts,
submarine out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Windy Boy makes a full-on fucking tornado and crashes them all into the beach.
The only time he is threatening.
Yeah.
He's not just there. But yeah, the idea that Professor X is like, I can't find Shaw, but I can find Frost, Windy Boy, and Azazel all together. But Shaw's not there.
He just kept forgetting that Windy Boy was a thing.
Yeah.
Emma Frost is in prison, so
That's true. Yeah, again,
Yeah.
he just forgot that Windy Boy was a guy.
But yeah, they have the really cool mutant fight at
Yeah.
this point.
Well, you say really cool. Windy Boy does something, and just
Windy
kind
Boy
of
does something, and then I like
Disappears.
It takes
Azazel
down
was
the
like-
it's the X jet, isn't it? That they're
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the Blackbird, yeah.
the X-Jet.
But yeah, I like that Azazel just like grabs Banshee and Havoc and just teleports them away.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's Beast. Is it? He grabs Beast and Havoc.
oh yeah, he grabs Beast and Havoc, and yeah, because Banshee ends up rescuing them because he can fly.
Yeah. Well, Beast is like, if you don't teleport us back, you're dying to. He just
Yeah.
grabs hold of Azazel and is like, you fucking kill us all.
Yeah,
So he teleports them back, and they continue to fight. And
they continue to fight. Meanwhile, Magneto gets into the little chamber that Shaw is in, because Shaw's absorbing the nuclear power of the submarine, so he can be a nuclear blast that starts the
Mhm.
war.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those ones where he's like, as long as someone's ship gets attacked, the war will
The
start.
war will start. Yeah.
What level of plan is he on? He's on like plan X.
I don't know, but he's
like,
got a fucking good grip because he's holding on to that nuclear thing, and then the whole submarine gets flipped around and raised out the sea, and he doesn't notice.
he's holding on.
Yeah.
To be fair, he is absorbing a
Yeah.
nuclear blast.
It's probably
Yeah.
quite
And he
distracting.
might be a bit
Yeah.
preoccupied.
But yeah, Magneto gets
In
into
a-
that room, and they have a bit of a fight, and it cracks the wall so Charles can get in. But Magneto takes
Yeah.
the helmet and puts it on while Shaw is frozen, and then you get the best like villain kill in any X-Men
Best
movie.
death
Yeah.
theme ever.
It's so
Hands
good.
down.
He's like, yeah, we are the future. Like, you're right, but you killed
I
my
agree
mum
with
I
and
agree
just
with you.
yeah. But
You're just a
because
fucking idiot.
Charles is holding Shaw still as well, and it's cutting
Mhm.
between him and him and
don't-
Shaw as the coin goes through.
I don't quite get why he was still holding him.
Because if
still.
he didn't hold him, and then Shaw could have launched a nuclear missile at Eric.
Yeah,
He's already
Again,
absorbed
I
all
don't
this
see
plutonium.
why. I don't see why that was.
yeah. But I do like how the best way of killing him is like through not like a
Slowly.
force of power, but slowly and
Oh, yeah, and it really
Oh.
seeps and
Yeah.
crunches into his skull.
that coin
Slowly
coming out the back, and
crunches.
it's just like got the blood on it, and you're like, oh.
But, like,
Ugh.
James McAvoy is... Well, not James. Charles Xavier is feeling all of this.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he still holds on because he loves Eric so much.
yeah.
Well, okay, we're back to the shipping.
Well,
And
yeah.
they should be together forever.
Well, the Cuban Missile Crisis was about shipping, so
That's true. That is true.
because
And this
the
is
Americans
about,
and the
like,
Russians decide to team up to kill all the mutants because they're like all the mutants ever are on this beach. So if we kill them now, we don't have
that
to
is
deal
all
with
of
them.
them.
They don't know
Lucky
there's
that
more.
Here are the 7 mutants in
Yeah.
the world.
And Moira's there as well, and they're like,
Oh.
nah, she's just collateral. It's fine, don't worry. So Magneto stops all the missiles, and he's trying to shoot
Well,
them back at the
At this
ships.
point, like Magneto and Charles are like, this is where they split,
Yeah.
and he's like, they're trying to kill us. I can feel the metal in the guns turning.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like, tell me
Pretty
I'm
cool way of
wrong.
putting it,
And
my guy.
yeah, James is
Tells
like,
us
oh,
he's trying.
shit.
Yeah,
Ah, shit. And this is like kind of where they split, where their ideologies split.
Yeah.
Where one of them is like, we need to fight for our rights, and actually to survive, we might have to be bad people.
Mm. Yeah.
We might have to do bad things and kill to survive. And Charles is like, I don't see why we need to do that.
But what I
I'm
think
a
the
psychic
real
man.
the real like final nail in the coffin is when Charles says that the thousands of men on those ships are just following orders.
They're just following orders.
yeah. He's like, I've been at the mercy of men just following orders, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah.
never again. It's
You
like,
kind of
Yeah.
agree with, honestly, kind of on Magneto's side.
Yeah, like that's what makes a good villain is where you get it, but they kind of push it a bit
Well-
too far, you know?
Well, Magneto's like, he always feels like a villain that's not a villain.
Yeah, he wants something from a different point of view.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he's an
has
antagonist,
ideology.
but he's not necessarily evil.
No, and his personal experience kind of shows that he's not evil. He's just like, he understands a kind of
He's
person
willing to
that-
play as dirty as the humans.
Yeah,
yeah,
And
like,
whereas
he understands like
Xavier's like, we need to be the better men, and he's like, we already are the better men.
yeah,
Yeah. it kind of feels like Charles doesn't fully understand how evil humans can be.
Yeah. And he's when you look at like,
Yeah,
okay,
he's
one
never
of
been
them
at the
was a
mercy
child
of
in
it.
the Holocaust, and one had Charles
Wonderful.
Xavier's incredibly privileged upbringing.
yeah,
his literal castle that he lived in,
Yeah.
where he could do literally whatever he wants at any time because he is that kind of psychic.
Yeah.
And like the person that he was best friends with was a woman who kind of had to not have to constantly use her powers to not get caught, and he seemed blissfully unaware of that. But yeah, I kind of get
Yeah.
Magneto 100%.
yeah.
Oh yeah, if I was a mutant,
He
I'd
knows
kill
the
everyone.
darkness. 100% immediately. I wouldn't even flinch. Wouldn't even
Yeah.
flinch.
I remember
he
like
doesn't. He crashes all the missiles
Yeah.
into the sea.
he
because-
yeah,
No,
it's
he
because
tries to
as
throw them
he's
back.
trying to Charles is trying to like stop him, and they're kind of fighting, and then Moira starts shooting at Magneto, and he
So
deflects the bullet
fucking-
straight into Charles's spine.
Which-
And I remember seeing that at cinema and just being like, "Oh fuck!"
Well, that's where it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really good
Which-
reveal.
yeah,
Are they kind of like so? Magneto and Moira are kind of like because Magneto turns around and is like, "Oh God, this is Moira. This is your fault, Moira," and tries to kill her with a dog tag, and Xavier's like, "No, this is your fault."
yeah. She's like, "She didn't do this,
it-
Eric. You did."
Kind of both of their faults.
Yeah,
Because like she's just opening fire at a guy with collateral damage stood right next to him.
yeah. And he
And,
can,
like-
fucking move bullets.
I guess she's trying to
But like a-
distract him. Because
Yeah.
But in
ultimately
terms
that's
of,
what
like,
they need. Because these missiles are quite quickly, like the smaller ones
Yeah.
and the shorter distant ones are dropping already. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
before they've got to the
But in
ships.
terms of like, in terms of like firearm safety, you don't shoot like in the direction of people
Yeah,
and just kind of hope to not hit because she's not aiming; she's just shooting.
But she's shooting at Magneto. I
Yeah,
guess maybe
and-
there's the idea
and-
that if he's controlling all the missiles, which is, a lot, maybe
Yeah.
he'll miss the bullets. Or
But
one
Xavier
bullet.
stood right behind him,
yeah.
like right
Yeah,
behind
but I guess
him.
she assumes that he's
Don't
going to
shoot in
get them
that
to stop and
direction.
drop or stop and hold them,
You-
not fling
you
them into
fucking
his best
hope.
friend's spine.
Not curve the
You
bullet into
fucking
James
hope.
McAvoy.
No, that's still a little bit her fault. That's
Yeah.
still a little bit her fault.
Oh,
She's opening fire in like an ally's direction.
yeah.
Well,
When he's just lying on the beach though, and he just starts being like, "I can't feel my
Oh, fuck.
legs," and it's like, "Oh no!"
yeah.
Like, yeah.
There's probably a mutant somewhere for that.
And,
I'm gonna be honest.
so
I'm
we
pretty
have
sure
the-
in the next film he's got some sort of serum that means if he doesn't use his powers, he
Him
can
and his
walk or
fucking
something.
serum.
Yeah.
Him and his fucking serum.
Yeah, it's kind of mad that we go from this to Days of Future Past, which I remember being
Yeah.
very good, but it's directed by that nonce again, so
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's to
Sounds
be fair,
cool.
that's another one where that Wolverine comes in and is like, I'll be the main character.
yeah.
So following this is obviously the end, which is the split, the class split.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mystique joins with Magneto.
Yeah.
and then
She
Angel
walks
joins.
towards Magneto. She dives in. She goes instead to Charles, but he's like, no, don't. You need to go. You want this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, "Don't you ever read my mind again?" And he's like, "I didn't this time, but I have before."
Well, he was like, I've done a great deal of things that I shouldn't have done,
Yeah.
which is kind
Which
of
is like,
acknowledging what
that's-
you were saying about how like the way that she grew up with him and how he never really appreciated how much work she had to put into just being not blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's constantly
Yeah.
using most of her energy just doing that.
Just to
Mm.
exist.
Yeah.
And
Um,
then,
He's
so
like,
then,
"Oh."
thankfully, Devil Guy has survived.
Azazel.
Yeah, so he teleports them all
And
out.
they'll teleport away, and then it's this. I really dislike
Xavier-
the scene that comes after this, which is the opening of the school.
Yeah. and Xavier like erasing Moira's mind as
Yeah.
well. It's like seems a bit like
I get that
I
he
mean,
has to,
that's
but the way
good,
where
but-
it's like, all I remember, she's recounting, she's being debriefed by the CIA, and
Yeah.
she's like, all I remember is we got on the island, and then this happened, and then I don't remember, and then there was a kiss, and they're all like, women.
bloody women in the CIA. What
And
next?
that
Women doctors.
This film's like plenty kind of one-sided, quite misogynistic in a lot of ways
Yeah.
already.
Hmm.
It really that was just
Yeah.
a little bit of a not particularly welcome cherry on
It didn't
top.
need it.
Like we've
Yeah,
already got
didn't
all
need
the
it.
women in their underwear a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
Didn't need it.
yeah.
When are we getting a good really good X-Men film?
I'm hoping that the new ones that they make soon are actually good.
I don't have any hope.
It's-
I
it's
guess we'll
easy,
see
but
with the
when-
Fantastic Four movie. So.
Oh, because they have such an excellent track
Yeah,
record.
They've
No,
done
if
so
they can
well so
do
far.
well with that one, then I'll have faith in the future
All
X-Men
three.
stuff.
No, they're gonna make it too like weird, and no one's gonna use their powers enough. I want this level of joy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I really like this. I mean, I haven't seen Dark Phoenix because fuck that, but I
have. It's not good.
Yeah.
no,
This
can't
and
imagine.
Days of Future Past, I remember just being so excited for Days of Future Past when that was coming out, and even though the last scene of this is Eric breaking out Emma Frost, and he has the dumbest looking Magneto costume I've ever seen.
It's got little horns. It's got little extra. It's like a little spiky M on the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I
They
love that
picked,
he's
like-
just like I can imagine him like drinking some whiskey or something with Mystique, and then he's like, sod it, I'm gonna lean into this Magneto thing. She's
Yeah.
like, do it. It'll be cool.
You'll be sick.
Yeah.
Forgetting that she's like 18.
And he's like, yeah, I'm glad he changes his costume for the next one. I guess the days of fuchsia have passed.
Well,
I've
with
been
that,
there. What? Wait, we need to rate it.
Out of 10.
this is
How many toads being struck by lightning out of 10?
this is I think it's 8. Is it 8 or 9? Yeah, 8 erotic chess scenes out of 10. For me,
Yeah, the
like
great
it's,
scene
I could watch
between-
this again now. I watched it a week
Yeah.
ago. I could have easily watched it again this week to just
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
it again. It makes
It's such
me
a nice,
giggle
easy
like
one.
a schoolgirl. Like I probably regressed watching this. Like I was really excited and happy, and then like just letting my emotions be tugged all over the place by this film. And it's I don't know. I've also watched it a whole bunch in like different scenarios and like with different people that I liked. Oh, it's also like it was the first ever movie that I bought a DVD, and I think also probably one of the only movies where I bought the DVD and it came with a free digital download.
Yeah.
Because that was briefly
Oh,
a thing.
Pitch Perfect was the other one of that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
'cause
you told us.
Pitch Perfect.
And I also watched this on holiday in Croatia with my friend, and she I don't think she'd seen it or she had it, but anyway, we really enjoyed it. And that was really funny
film.
because it was definitely, so when a film comes out, it's quite often shipped in 2 separate parts, 2 separate
Yeah.
reels, so that if someone nicks it, they've only got half of it.
Yeah.
This film that we saw it on the back of a billboard, like it projected onto the back of a billboard in I think it was Bol, like a little place in Croatia, and it was distinctly in 2 reels, and like the second one was way more yellow. And
Oh,
No, it was 2 different
yeah,
reels.
it was definitely two different.
Someone nicked
ones.
it from 2
Yeah.
different spaces. Nice.
But yeah, so I've got a lot of fun memories tied up with this film, and I was way more into this than I ever was into X-Men. Like X-Men, I thought was fine, but this one, like,
Yeah.
I this got me into X-Men.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, I
it's,
don't blame
it's fun. It's a
Yeah.
fun movie. I
Yeah.
think I'd agree 8 times Darwin probably shouldn't have died out of 10.
Yeah.
you. Yeah, eight,
Um,
8 things Darwin can survive.
8 things Darwin. No, 8 like 8 toads being struck by lightning out of 10 because that's still the best.
Yeah, fuck it, put Toad in it again.
Yeah,
Fuck. This is why what this film would have been better with Toad.
yeah.
Every film, we established this already.
Oh,
Every
every
film's
film.
better.
Put Toad in, and then he can be exploded. Do you know what happens when a toad gets gets full of
Gets-
Alex Summers' powers?
No, what
The
happens
same
when-
thing that happens to everyone else except for Darwin.
Yeah, for what probably should happen to Darwin. He would be great though. Him instead of Tornado Guy.
Yeah.
It's just Toad, but doing all Tornado Guy stuff. Like he's destroying Cerebro, but like one bit at a
Just
time,
with
yeah,
his
just
tongue,
pulling the bits of metal off.
bouncing around, kind of bored. Everyone else gets to have a cool fight. He's just there like,
He's just there's just an awkward silence at some point, only broken by him ribbiting in the background.
well, it's like the sort of unsticking noise of his tongue. So it's like,
Yeah.
the music just cuts out, and all you hear is.
Well, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
this 8 silly names that they come up with.
Yes.
Yeah, because the X-Men names are all like when they say you should be Professor X and you're Magneto, it's just so awkward. But
Yeah.
So
it kind of
weird,
makes
I
it
love
funnier. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
just
the
be like-
crushing way that Charles is like, I expect more from you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I shouldn't be called Professor X. That's a silly name. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the rewatch of this. It had been quite a while since I'd seen it actually, which surprised
Yeah,
me.
I don't understand. Still watching it. This film gets more hate than I think it deserves.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the
Not
better ones.
not on the echo chamber that was Tumblr.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
But I
beloved
think
there.
I think on the whole, like this era of X-Men film gets more hate than I think it deserves.
I think it's because it goes downhill
direct.
so rapidly.
Oh yeah, I think
Hmm.
any hate and all hate for Dark Phoenix is incredibly well
No.
deserved.
Dark
Yeah.
Phoenix is fair. But Dark
Apocalypse, I
Phoenix
remember
feels like
being
it.
fine.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
But by that point, it was kind of
okay.
tired. I was a bit tired of the franchise already.
Yeah.
And yeah, Days of Future
If it
Past was
made by anyone
okay.
else.
Yeah, I remember being really excited for that one because it was like,
Yeah.
oh, the crossover of the old and the like new and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember really liking it, but it has been a while since I've seen it. So
Does have Quicksilver in it, and Quicksilver is the best thing.
yeah,
about
it's
it.
got the
Oh,
coolest
yes.
Quicksilver scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of became like a staple of the franchise, and then they kind of did it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember really liking Quicksilver actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
Quicksilver's great. Let Evan Peters play happy characters. Just let him.
just let
He's
him
having
happy for a
such a
bit.
terrible
He
fucking
deserves
time.
it.
He fucking deserves it.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
with
Evan
that,
Peters as Toad, though.
oh yeah, he'd be great.
He'd be great.
Start a Toad
Great as
series with
Toad.
Evan Peters. Okay.
Just Toad, yeah,
uh,
100%.
well, with that, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on social media at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well. Come and tell us, I guess, your thoughts on this X-Men series, what you liked about it, how would Toad improve
Superpower
it?
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
your superhero name?
what's your X-Men
And
name?
what's your power?
Yeah.
What's your X-Men name and what is your superpower? And they don't have to be connected.
No.
They don't have to. They can be anything.
And we also have a Patreon where you can support the show, and if you do, we'll turn you into your superhero, I assume.
Yeah. I'm gonna blast you with radiation. No.
Yeah.
The
Only
money's
if you've
going to
got
go towards
cancer.
getting a good X-Men franchise made that has Toad in it.
Yeah.
Because at some point,
I want Toad
Origin.
Origins.
I just want a good like
Or
this.
Toad shenanigans.
I want like the original X-Men franchise, but with this style and energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want that kind of like kooky,
A bit
goofy.
younger, a bit bit free,
Um,
more free spirited.
Yeah, but like have like a good story
Yeah. Get it right.
and like a solid franchise. Yeah, and don't do like, oh, we have to cross over with the fucking Avengers.
Yeah, no. I'm going to use some of the money to buy a book on the Cuban Missile Crisis.
I
Yeah.
think that's smart.